Some women just aren't meant to be mothers. I heard Beverly's voice floating in from the kitchen as I walked down the hallway. I stopped in my tracks, hand gripping the doorframe to steady myself. I hadn't meant to listen in, but those words hit me like a blade. "Maybe it's time we stop pretending," she added, her voice cool and matter-of-fact. "Mom, please," I heard Michael reply. His voice was tight, almost pleading. "We're doing everything we can. The doctors said there's still hope." 2 years, Michael, 2 whole years of these treatments, and nothing's changed. I hate watching you waste your time waiting on something that clearly isn't going to happen. I backed away slowly, my heart pounding in my chest. I had only gone into the hallway to grab my pill organizer from the kitchen, but now it was the last thing on my mind. I returned quietly to the guest bedroom, Beverly's words ringing in my ears like a cruel echo. "My name is Geneva Wilson. I'm 36 years old and I work as a paralegal at a law firm in Albuquerque. For the past 2 years, I've been trying to have a baby with my husband, Michael. We've tried everything: fertility medication, scheduled routines, doctor visits, endless hopes, and every month, when I took a test and saw only one line, it felt like mourning something I never got to hold. Beverly, my mother-in-law, moved in with us last year. She sold her house and was supposed to stay only for a short time until she found another place. But months passed, and she never left. She slowly took over parts of our life, especially the part about our fertility struggles. She always said she was just trying to help. She offered to organize my medication, reminded me about appointments, and constantly asked questions that felt far too personal. I let her. At first, I was desperate for support and eager to be accepted. I thought, maybe if I showed her I was trying, she'd stop comparing me to Michael's ex, the doctor, or asking when I'd stop being just a paralegal. Michael and I met years ago at the courthouse. I was filing documents for work, and he was covering a trial for the local newspaper. He asked me for directions. I gave him my number. 6 months later, we were engaged. A year later, married. His family welcomed me, at least. They acted like they did. Beverly cooked fancy dinners, gave me thoughtful gifts, but there were always these little comments, little stings, hints that I wasn't quite enough. When we decided to have children, Beverly's interest turned into obsession. She sent me articles about declining fertility after 35. She talked about how easily she got pregnant at 23. She even started showing up to our house without warning, usually right when Michael and I were spending time together, trying to relax or be intimate. It felt like she was always watching. Still, I believed she meant well. I believed that once we had a baby, things would change. I even suggested she move in with us. Michael hesitated, but I thought it would help our bond. From the moment she moved in, the house changed. Beverly made herself comfortable. She cooked meals without asking about my preferences. She rearranged furniture, set her own schedule, and slowly took over our daily routine. She also started managing my medication. It began as small favors. She picked up prescriptions while running errands, set up a pill organizer on the kitchen counter, and reminded me to take my pills. I thought she was being supportive. But now, I wasn't so sure. That morning, I noticed something odd. The pills in my organizer looked slightly different, larger, a different texture. I brushed it off, thinking the pharmacy had given me a generic brand, but after hearing what she said to Michael, my gut told me something was wrong. I sat on the bed, trying to piece everything together. Had Beverly been saying things like that to Michael for a while? Did he agree with her, even a little? I opened my phone and searched for images of my prescription pills. They didn't match what I took that morning. My hands started to tremble. I checked my refill schedule. I should have picked up a new bottle 3 weeks ago, but I hadn't. Beverly had offered to handle it. A sinking feeling settled in my stomach. I remembered how I used to feel different when Beverly wasn't home, more energetic, more like myself, but whenever she returned, the heaviness came back. I had assumed it was stress. Now, I wondered if it was something else entirely. That night, while she watched her usual shows, I quietly took the pill organizer and went to the bathroom. I poured one of the pills into my hand. It looked similar, but not the same. It had no manufacturer's imprint. The edges were too smooth. I placed it in a cup of water, and it dissolved almost instantly. Sugar pills. I stared at the water, my heart thudding in disbelief. She had switched out my medication. She was pretending to help, but really, she was sabotaging me. Why? What kind of person would do that? I flushed the rest of the pills down the toilet. My hands shook. I heard the front door open. Michael was home. I took a deep breath and walked out like nothing had happened. I wasn't ready to confront anyone yet. I needed more than one day's proof. Over dinner, I watched Beverly closely. She smiled at Michael and served him extra chicken, giving me a tiny piece without asking. "I can drive you to your doctor's appointment next week," she offered sweetly. "Parking's always such a hassle." "Thanks, but I'll be fine," I said calmly. "My office is just a few blocks from the clinic." She tilted her head, watching me. "Still, all these appointments and no results. It must be so hard. Have you two considered other options, like adoption, or maybe a donor egg from a younger woman?" Michael didn't say anything. He just looked down at his plate. That silence hurt more than her words. "The doctors are still hopeful," I replied, my voice tight. "These things take time." 2 years is more than time, dear, she said, smiling sharply. "It's a sign." That night, I couldn't sleep. Michael snored beside me while I stared at the ceiling. Eventually, I got up and searched through the bathroom drawers. Tucked under Beverly's guest toiletries was a prescription bottle with my name on it. It had been filled 3 weeks ago, and it was nearly full. She had hidden my real medication. She had stolen my chance at motherhood, month after month, while pretending to support me. I sat on the floor, clutching the bottle, breathing through the rage and betrayal that surged inside me. For 2 years, I blamed myself. For 2 years, I thought my body was failing me, but the truth was worse. Someone I let into my home had been actively working against me. I put the bottle back exactly where I found it. I wouldn't confront her yet. I needed to be smart. I needed to know if Michael knew anything. I needed to get my real medication and protect it. The next morning, I called my doctor's office and asked for an urgent appointment. I didn't explain everything, just enough to get in that same day. When I sat in Dr. Patel's office, she greeted me warmly. "Geneva, this is a surprise. Everything okay?" I shut the door and took a deep breath. "I think someone's been switching my medication, and I think it's been happening for a while." Her face turned serious. I showed her the photos of the pills from my organizer, compared to the ones she had prescribed. "These aren't the same," she confirmed. "I can't say exactly what they are without testing, but they're not your fertility meds." She asked who had access. I told her about Beverly. Dr. Patel leaned back in her chair. "Geneva, if this is true, it's a serious violation. It's not just family drama, it's illegal. Medication tampering is a crime." The words felt heavy, real. "I need more proof," I said, "and I need to know if my husband has anything to do with it." She nodded and handed me a new prescription. "Only you can pick this up," she said firmly. "Keep it somewhere safe, and think about speaking to someone, maybe a therapist. This is a lot to deal with on your own." I left her office holding the new prescription tightly. I wasn't imagining things. My instincts had been right, but now that I knew the truth, I had to decide what to do next. I wasn't going to play the victim anymore. The rules had changed. And Beverly had no idea that I was ready to fight back. I knew I couldn't confront Beverly yet, not until I had proof, so I made a plan. The next day, I went to a different pharmacy and quietly filled my real prescription, without telling anyone. I kept the medication locked in the drawer of my desk at work. That evening, back at home, I acted like everything was normal. I smiled. I took the pills Beverly gave me, the fake ones, the sugar pills. She sat there watching me, looking pleased, like she had no idea I was onto her. Over the next 2 weeks, I played along. At home, I took Beverly's pills, letting her believe her plan was working. But at work, I took the real medication every day. I kept careful notes. I photographed the fake pills. I wrote down every time Beverly reminded me to take them. I even took a picture of the bottle of real pills I found hidden in her things. I uploaded everything to a secure cloud drive, password protected, backed up, impossible for her to erase. But one thing I didn't do was tell Michael. I wanted to trust him, but something in me held back. Every time Beverly made some nasty little comment about me, and Michael said nothing, just sat there in silence, I wondered where his loyalties truly lay. Did he know what she was doing? Was he a part of it? I didn't get my answer until 3 weeks later. I was walking down the hall toward his home office when I heard voices. I paused, quietly standing just outside the door. "Mom, this has gone on long enough," Michael said. His voice was sharper than usual. "I spoke with the doctor today. Geneva's following the treatment plan exactly. There's no reason it shouldn't be working." For a moment, my heart lifted. He was defending me. But then Beverly answered, "Unless the treatment isn't the issue," she said calmly. "Did it ever cross your mind that maybe she doesn't want children at all? Maybe she's secretly on birth control? Career women like her often say they want kids, but they keep putting it off until it's too late." Michael scoffed, but I heard hesitation in his voice. "That's ridiculous." "Is it?" Beverly pressed. "She works late. She's always glued to her phone. For all you know, she could be living a completely different life behind your back." "Geneva wouldn't do that." "Wouldn't she?" Beverly replied. "Then explain this. I found this in her purse yesterday." There was a long pause. Then Michael's shocked voice, "A birth control packet? Are you sure?" "Check the label if you don't believe me," she said, coolly. I froze. My skin turned cold. Beverly had planted fake evidence. She had gone so far as to create a fake prescription, with my name on it, and put it in my bag. And worse. Michael sounded like he might actually believe her. I quietly backed away from the door. My heart was pounding. This wasn't just about stopping me from getting pregnant anymore. Beverly was trying to ruin my marriage. She wanted to turn Michael against me completely. That night, I barely slept, but Michael didn't say a word, not until the next evening. We were in the bedroom. He walked in holding something in his hand. "Is there something you want to tell me?" he asked. I looked up, and saw what he was holding. A birth control pill packet. With my name on it. It looked completely real. The label was from our usual pharmacy. Beverly had gone all out. "That's not mine," I said quietly, my voice shaking. "I've never seen that before." He stared at me. "It has your name on it. Mom found it in your purse." "And you believe her?" I asked, stunned. "She went through my things, found this, and you just take her word over mine?" Michael looked torn. "I don't know what to believe anymore," he said. "It's been 2 years, no results. The doctors say everything should be working." "So you think I've been lying, sabotaging our chances?" "Why would I do that to myself? Why would I go through all the appointments, the injections, the side effects, just to fake it?" "I don't know," he shouted. "Maybe you changed your mind. Maybe you're afraid of how a baby would affect your career." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. After everything, after all we'd been through, he was willing to believe the worst of me, because of something Beverly planted. "I want a child, Michael," I said, barely holding back tears. "Our child, more than anything." He looked at me, trying to read my face. "Then how do you explain this?" He held up the packet again. I paused. I couldn't tell him the whole truth, not yet. If he told Beverly, she'd destroy the evidence. Everything I had collected could vanish. "I can't explain it," I said carefully, "but it's not mine. Someone is trying to come between us." Michael ran a hand through his hair, clearly frustrated. "This is insane. Who would do that?" I looked him straight in the eye. "Who benefits if we stop trusting each other? Who's been living with us, inserting herself into our private life every step of the way?" He narrowed his eyes. "Don't bring my mother into this. She's only tried to help." "Has she?" I whispered. "She's been criticizing me from day one. My age, my job, comparing me to your exes. She doesn't think I'm right for you." "She's just old-fashioned," Michael said defensively. "She wants what's best." "And she doesn't think that's me," I finished. Before he could answer, there was a knock at the door. Beverly stood there, perfectly calm, like she'd just happened to overhear. "I'm so sorry this is happening," she said gently, "but maybe it's for the best. At least everything's out in the open now." I snapped. "Nothing is out in the open. You planted that pill packet." She widened her eyes in fake shock. "Michael, can you believe what she's saying about me?" Michael looked back and forth between us. He didn't say a word. I saw the doubt in his eyes, the confusion, the weakness. Beverly had gotten to him. She had spent months, maybe years, chipping away at his trust in me, and now, her plan was working. "I think we all need a little space," Michael finally said. "Geneva, maybe you should stay with a friend for a few days, just until we figure this out." I stood frozen. Just like that, I was being pushed out of my own home. Beverly had one. As I packed a small bag with trembling hands, I realized this wasn't about infertility anymore. This was war. And I would not lose.